and simply just a source of positivity and optimism about what the future could hold in the near future. Let's stop thinking about Tesla's Robotaxi, aka the Cybercab, as just a self-driving car. No, seriously, let's stop thinking about it as quite literally a self-driving car. Let's start thinking beyond the product and service and just exclusively on the potential benefits to society. How everyday life could change by such a small but actually a really revolutionary change to everyday life. And let's face it, self-driving cars have always been tagged as a vision for the future for decades, probably because of how unachievable it actually was at the time. But what is it about self-driving robotaxis that makes it so damn attractive? And to answer this, I want to stop talking for just a second and actually play you a short 30-second clip that will help demonstrate the benefits of a robotaxi world better than I can actually put into words. Okay, so on the face of it, that was a handful of very different scenes of people and their pets and how they each live very different lives. Yet when Tesla Robotaxi is introduced, and that could well be as early as June 2025, starting in Austin, and to expand thereafter, the Cybercab and Robotaxi as a whole will truly change how and what we do when going from point A to point B. Ultimately, it's about reclaiming time, enhancing safety, and just rethinking how we live for a better quality of life. Therefore, in my super inspired state from that very video, I want to share 5 different scenarios of how Tesla's Robotaxi service will benefit different individuals in society through real, everyday scenarios that could soon be a part of your life. Because frankly, that video was an insight into the near future, and hope that this video just helps really inspire that vision too. Right, if you haven't already done so, I really appreciate if you could just drop the video a cheeky like, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. First up, let's begin with the unsung heroes of the night shift. Nurses, warehouse workers, security guards and more. These power our local communities while we're tucked in bed. But I think there is no better example to use here than a nurse who's clocked out after a grueling 12-hour shift in A&E, helping to save lives of the loved ones around us. It's 1 a.m. Her shift is officially over, her eyes are heavy, and home's a 40-minute drive away. And normally she'd have to actually battle through to the staff car park, for which I know that some of the hospitals here in the UK aren't always actually on site, and they actually have to rely on nearby car parks, and they aren't secure as they should be, should we say. But ultimately, she's not just a life-saving nurse, she probably has a family of her own too, and battling fatigue to drive home to her family is a difficult task that she has to tackle daily. The solution before may have been just blasting music to stay awake as the headlights start to blur into the darkness, but with a Robotaxi, everything changes. She taps her phone and there it is, waiting curbside at the hospital drop-off and pick-up point. No security concerns there. No fumbling for keys, scraping off ice from the windshield in the early hours of the morning. She steps in, dims the cabin lights, reclines the seat, and lets the gentle hum of the electric motor lull her. The Robotaxi powered by Tesla AI then navigates the traffic, roadworks, and even a sudden downpour with flawless precision, all while she dozes off, stealing 30 minutes of rest, arriving home not just safely, but also partially recharged for a good night's sleep. For millions of healthcare workers, the Robotaxi turns an intense draining day and a painful commute into a new restorative pause. A small but profound shift towards a better health and balance for the healthcare worker, and I'm sure that will probably trickle into her family life and work life too. Moving on to a different scenario, and one I think everyone will get behind: stamping out drink driving for good. There's no better way to actually illustrate this as a Friday night scenario after a hard week's graft with your mates. You've already texted your wife that you're just going to stop off at the pub for a single drink before heading home. But there's always that lingering possibility it could always lead to more, right? An hour turns into two. Before you know it, the mood is high, the drinks are flowed, and it's past midnight when the bartender calls last orders. You've passed the legal limit though. You shouldn't drive, no ifs, no buts. And I know most of you will actually make the right choice and find a safe way home and leave your car at the pub. But we know there's that small percentage that will regrettably take a gamble. And we know that there's a number of different regrettable scenarios that could follow if that decision is pursued. Honestly, you don't need me to list the possibilities for you. But with a Robotaxi, it should be overwhelmingly the effortless choice. Open the app and within minutes, a Tesla can glide up right in front of the pub. No awkward cab hailing, no wild surcharge pricing guilt. Cheaper than the kebab that you've just demolished before you stumbled into the Cybercab, maybe. The interior is warm and welcoming, and you decide to then FaceTime your mates on the way home, just saying how great the night was. You also then make the drunken mistake to FaceTime your wife on more than one occasion to find out that you're in a doghouse this time. I'm pretty certain a Robotaxi can't help you in every scenario, but you will be taken home in complete security. The costs will be low, but more importantly, you get home safe without negatively impacting anyone else's life in the process. Now, think about this happening, but globally. Across cities worldwide, Robotaxis could cut drink driving crashes by thousands, turning a night out into a story of smart choices and no regrets. The only problem you may have, though, is you might end up in the doghouse a few more times than you used to. Moving on to a new scenario, and one that we kind of saw in the video at the beginning. Picture school is over for the week. Two siblings that attend the same school are ready to head home at 3 o'clock, but mum she's stuck in traffic and will be for quite some time. Instead, she notifies the kids and proactively schedules the Cybercab in advance. The mother doesn't need to rely on grandparents or friends to help get her kids home safely. The Cybercab pulls up outside school, the kids jump in, and there's no driver, just smart AI navigating the way home around the traffic incident. One child is being super savvy on their tablet, completing their maths homework in advance so they don't need to do it over the weekend. The other child, who has a polar opposite personality, they've decided to connect a Bluetooth controller and are trying to beat their high score on a game of their choice. The ride's smooth, the mother can actually track their progress, may even be able to check in on them via the interior camera of the Cybercab, but more importantly, the parents can navigate the stress of a traffic jam knowing that their kids have actually gotten home safely without impacting grandparents, etc., and just adding extra costs to the road unnecessarily. Cybercab would flip the script on after-school chaos, kids would love the freedom, and parents will equally love the safety and reassurance of a Tesla Robotaxi has to offer compared to a human-driven alternative by a stranger. And it's not just the young folks that will extract more enjoyment from a Cybercab. I think that once the older generation, pensioners shall we say, so we don't actually put an age limit on it, whilst they may be hesitant at first, once they finally do try it out and become a believer in the technology, they will become perhaps one of the biggest fans of this newborn independence. So when their eyesight does start to fade and their driving awareness is put into question, it no longer becomes that difficult question of depending on others and public transport to get from A to B. Instead, it can be a low-cost taxi service that will not judge them if it's their 5th consecutive day at the bingo halls, as they enter a new dawn of socialising now that they are no longer afraid of the future possibilities of not driving and the freedom that can come with it. With a Robotaxi, nothing is off limits in terms of maybe destinations and the costs. They're nothing like running an old petrol motor, and their adult kids are also really pleased that their elderly parents, they're no longer driving. That worry or doubt about them is gone. Critically, pensioners will no longer have that dreaded feeling of losing their freedom from giving up driving. They may travel more, socialise more, and hopefully keep their personal transportation costs low, all whilst maintaining safety. There's a lot of wins here for the older generation. The final scenario that I have today is a small local bakery in town. Footfall in the bakery is shrinking, but conversions are up. The bakery owner decides to open up its capabilities on a budget by allowing orders to be taken via their website or app and then have it delivered to them at their convenience. Hiring a full-time delivery driver for a small business would be expensive, so they decide to try it out using a Robotaxi to deliver their orders quickly and without the cost commitments of wages, vehicle repairs and car insurance, or van insurance should we say. Instead, the bakery can scale their local deliveries with the Robotaxi service. load fresh cupcakes and artisan bread into the car, and it drives directly to the consumer, and they'll get a notification when the goods are there for the collection. Customers love the speed and the low cost of delivery, and the small local business doesn't have to rely on converting customers that physically walk through the door all the time. Allowing the business to thrive and scale in a simple and more sustainable way, it won't just be local bakeries that could potentially utilise this service, but plenty of other small local businesses could thrive in a Robotaxi world. Noting that this method hasn't actually been announced by Tesla yet, but the possibilities are absolutely there. So to conclude, I hope you are inspired about a self-driving future as I am. I thoroughly enjoyed bringing some different real-world scenarios to life to you in this video. From the late night workers to students to seniors to small business dreamers. The Tesla Robotaxi service isn't just a self-driving vehicle. It will alter how we consider personal transportation and create a spark for change. Its users will reclaim rest and have near full assurance in safety, find new time for personal errands, retain or gain independence, and could bring local communities together in new ways. I've literally just scratched the surface of what could be around the corner. Frankly, our society could be about to be disrupted for the better by a self-driving car of the future, and people are still debating the if it will and if it won't happen, whereas this video was solely about when it does happen. How does it actually help society? And simply just a source of positivity and optimism about what the future could hold in the near future. So what do you think about Cybercab and Tesla's Robotaxi service? How could Robotaxi help your life? Let me know in the comments section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to check out the links in the video description, especially if you like Tesla accessories, including neck pillows and gaming controllers. That's all from me this week, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.